Hello everyone, I'm Lakshman. Welcome back to Stable and Scale, one of the place where you can share and learn technology. Today we are gonna see how to set up a deployment to Azure Web App via GitHub Actions. The things we'll be seeing is number one, it's prerequisites. Number two, we will create a web app and we will configure it. Number three, we will set up a GitHub action to deploy our API to Azure. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So let us see the prerequisites. It's number one, Azure subscription, and number two, it's GitHub account. These two are needed for you for the deployment on Azure. Next, we will be creating a web app and setting a deployment via Azure GitHub Actions. So let's jump into it. This is our Azure portal and this is our resource group. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a web app. So this is our web app. I'm going to click create. Going to name as app via actions and it's a .NET API. We are going to deploy it, which is 6 when Linux. It's Central India and this is the resource group. There are two options for deploying via GitHub action. Number one, it's via deployment option. We can directly enable it here, but we are not going to deploy it right away. From here, I'm going to deploy once it's created. So I'm just going to click review and it's getting validated. Once the validation is done, we can click create. By this, our deployment will get started and it is in progress. It will get create our application. Let's wait for a few more seconds for deployment get started. Once it is done, we will get resumed. Our app has got created. Let's go for resource. The first thing for setting our application, we need to go for deployment center. Then you will be able to get a lot of options here. First it will be GitHub bucket, which is Git bucket, DevOps and others. So what we will do is we'll select GitHub and select our repo. If you're first going to authenticate, it will ask you for authorize. You need to click on authenticate your GitHub account and Azure. Once it is done, so you can select which organization it's stable and scale. Next, it's first .NET API and its master branch, and you can preview your YAML file, which is will be creating a commit in your repo, and we start deploying your application to this web app. So once you save it, it creates and builds a deployment pipeline, and now it's got connected, and you can see, go to actions. There was an action got created. Let us see what's a YAML file it's created. First, it checks the on any push to the master it will trigger, and it has two jobs, one for build, one for deploy. The build is normally setting up the .NET 6.0, then build it, publish it, add to artifacts. Next, on deploy, you are using an artifact gets downloaded and deploying to web app, and it will create a secret for you. If you see settings, go for secret and click actions, you can see there was a secret got created. think let's go for the actions and see whether it is got deployed. It's got deployed, and you can see there was a URL, it's popping up here. Let's click it. My deployment is done. So let's copy the URL. The URL will be available here. Let's copy it and paste it here. If you want to see some loggings, you can go here in log stream to stream the logs. You can see here. So the pages came up. Our only endpoint is .NET's default controller weather forecast. Let's copy. You can see data is coming, and we have successfully deployed via GitHub Action to our web app. And you can see there was loggings going on with Azure Linux, and it's starting the DLLs .NET first .NET.dll, and it's exposed in the port. If you have some configuration which need to be added, you can just use this configuration options. And if you want to switch to different repos or different options, you can just go there and you can just disconnect and reconnect with any other provider as per your wish. And you can see that your deployment logs here. It will provide you what are all the logs available, and scripts all will be available here. So this is via GitHub Action on deploying to Azure Web App. With this, you can set up deployment via GitHub Action for your app, API, etc. If you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification on so you won't miss out any new video. Until then, I am Lakshman signing off. Enjoy coding.